Hey everybody, it's me. I've been wanting to put up a YouTube channel for a long time. I started one back in, I think it was like 14, but it's been pretty pitiful. So it's just a matter of me trying to figure out what I want everything to be about. Um, and currently, the best things that come to mind are stylist stuff, cosmetology stuff. I've done quite a few videos on my live feed on Facebook, and they seem to be receiving well. So I thought that I would do a video about the 10 things you shouldn't say or do to your stylist. This is not to pick on anybody, this is not to bully, this is to make the transaction of coming in, meeting a stylist, or being with a stylist, and leaving happy. I work inside a Smart Style, which is inside a Walmart, and we get an array of people, from those who are wealthy to those who don't have hardly any money at all, from those who live in big houses to those who live in a trailer park. So we get an array of people. And there are several things that occur quite often. And they are pet peeves to stylists that can start things up on the wrong foot. And they're just things that make our job more difficult. And if our job's more difficult, maybe we won't give our best selves to you. So, here we go. 10 things you should not say or do to your stylist. So this one is my number one pet peeve, and everybody in my salon will agree. And it is, are you any good? Are any of you any good? Oh, so to be honest, when we hear this, this means you have already ranked us. You have ranked us as amazing and wonderful or horrible. Never come back again. And when you ask us, are you any good? You're pretty much putting us probably right in the middle before we have even made a first impression. And when people ask us that, it's like going to a restaurant and asking the chef, is your food any good? It's insulting. We definitely understand why you're asking this question, and I'll tell you how to properly ask. You want to come in and you want to have a good service. You want to know if your stylist is at a notch that you need her to be, him to be, whatever. So what you can say instead is, are you comfortable with? Quick story. I had a lady that had came in, and she had a few kids with her, all probably 13, 14, 15, and one of them had very curly hair. And she asked me, are you any good with curly hair? Now, with that question, we don't know how to answer properly. We could either say yes, or we could say, well, I mean, I'm okay. You want to be honest, you want to be modest, and you don't want to put yourself on this high pedestal, but you don't want to dumb yourself down either. So, when I was asked, are you good with curly hair? My first instinct was to stop and think about my answer before I said it. Her response was, you hesitated. Is there anybody else here in the salon that's good with hair? So that's already put me in a position where obviously I can't do my job. Obviously I don't know my work. Obviously I'm a potato. So It's pretty much just the one of the worst questions you can ask a stylist, because it is very, very offensive. Um, Now, asking, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with curly hair? And some aren't. Some are. Some are amazing with curly hair, and some have just gotten out of school and have yet to really work with curly hair. And asking, are you comfortable with curly hair? And if I'm not, I will be honest and I'll say, well, not me, but I can direct you to somebody who I know is. And it makes the situation so much easier on my half, on the person I'm leaning you towards, and your half, because now we're on the right foot. Number 2, if I just get a trim, will it cost less? Now, there are usually prices that vary from stylist to stylist, salon to salon. Us, we have a cut and we have a bang trim. Usually, the way that I put it is, if I can fit the area in between my thumb and finger, then it is considered a bang trim. But the thing is that if I am trimming your whole head, even if it is just one length, if I am coming from one end, going all the way around your head and coming from this end, and then going across the front to make sure it's all even, that is a cut. A lot of people seem to think, well, if you're only taking this much off, why should I have to pay for the whole haircut? Because I'm still being precise. I'm still going over all your hair and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Now, if I'm only doing this tiny section, odds are it's only going to take me 3 minutes, and it's a very small section. But to go through and trim your whole head, that's a different story. I think that makes sense. Ways to combat that is you can ask, what kind of cut prices do you offer? Now, usually in my salon, we will say it is $14.97 for a haircut and $17.97 for a haircut and shampoo. Now, you can ask, if I'm only doing this one section, is that the same price of a haircut? And we will say yes, or we will say no, and then we will direct you to the right thing. It really drives me nuts when somebody tries to lowball my work and lowball my prices just because they think they earn it. I definitely understand why they ask that, but it's just, it's kind of like if you went in to get your car washed and you said, well, if you don't dry it, does it cost less? Well, no, because it'll dry on its own. If I don't use soap, it might cost less because of the price of soap. Do you want me to just use water? But I'm still doing the job. So, anyway. Number 3, not communicating and coming in late. Sometimes this works out just fine. Sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the time of day. It depends on the day itself. It depends on your stylist. Me personally, if I have a color that's going to take me 2 hours, and it is right at the beginning of my day, and right after the color I have a haircut, and right after that I have 2 little boys that come in the same family, and right after that I have lunch. Now, if my color decides to come in 15 minutes late, she does not call me, she does not let me know that she is coming in late, and she shows up 15 minutes late, that only gives me an hour and 45 minutes to take care of her. Because if I don't, that will run into the next haircut. And if I can't catch up by then, that'll run into the 2 little boys. And then if I still can't catch up, that'll run into my lunch, then I no longer get one. A lot of times if a client calls me and says, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late. Is that all right? That gives me the incentive that they are on their way. Maybe I should start getting my stuff all set up so I can get to them. If they tell me they're going to be 20 minutes late, I can say, well, unfortunately, my day does not fit in 20 minutes of extra time. I'm going to have to reschedule you if that's okay. By doing this, it really shows that you have respect for our time, and we appreciate that. If I know you have respect for my time and I know you have respect for me, I am willing to scratch your back if you're willing to scratch mine. So if you know that you're going to be late, if you know you're going to be behind, give us a courtesy call. We may have to move you. That's just kind of how appointments work. But if I can get you in later in the day, I will try to. If I can get you in tomorrow, I will try to. I do not want to let anybody down. So number 3, do not expect your stylist to read your mind. So one of the number one things that I tell people to do, especially if I have had mishaps over and over and over again, I tell people, bring me a picture. Bring me a picture of the color, the shape, the length, the thickness that you have. Bring me as close as to what you want as possible. The tiniest detail could change everything. I had a lady that told me she wanted low lights. And I said, okay. And I brought out some swatches, and she says, well, I want ash. And I said, okay. So I bring her out ash. And she picks one out that she wants. And then my next question is do you want it to blend, or do you want it to be streaky? And she told me she wanted it to be blended. Okay. So I gave her blended ash. When she looked in the mirror, she said, this looks nothing how I pictured. Now before, I always asked, do you have a picture? And she said, no, it'll be fine. I trust you. And I said, okay. And so then we're all done. She's not happy. And I said, okay, well, what can I change? What can I do to make you happy? And she says, well, let me look for a picture. Okay. And she pulls out a picture and she shows it to me. Now, I could have avoided everything had she showed me this picture beforehand. The picture she showed me was not ash, it was warm. Ash does not create extreme depth the way warm does. She also did not show me a picture of finely weaved, which is what I did, which was blended. Instead, she showed me streaky. So I told her, I said, this is completely different from what you asked for. And she goes, but this is what I want. Had she shown me that picture, I would have known exactly what she wanted, and we could have avoided the problem. I wouldn't have wasted 3 hours of my time. She wouldn't have wasted her money. A picture, a perfect picture, will be exactly what you need every time you need to go in and get something new. A-lines is a good one. Somebody will tell me, I want an A-line. And I go, okay. And I say, do you want a short A-line, a true A-line? Or do you want a longer A-line? Where do you want the front to land? Do you want stacked? Do you want this? Do you want that? And unless they give me a picture, I'm just listening to what they want. I'll get somebody that tells me I want a long A-line and I want it to land right about here. And I go, okay. And I do it. But then they look at it and they go, well, why does it not look like this? So then I have to explain, well, you said you wanted this, and that contradicts this. Okay, well, go ahead and change it. So I change it, and they look at it. This still doesn't look how I was picturing. Okay, well, what can I do to change it? Well, I need this, this, and this. Well, then I'm going to have to go shorter than what we agreed on. Or it needs to be longer than we agreed on. And we can just go back and forth and play this game until we've finally compromised. So, number 5. This is another mental thing. Nobody can do my hair right. Stop. You have already told the stylist they are going to fail because nobody can do their hair right. At this point, a lot of stylists just want to give up and say you can go to someone else because we already know that it is going to cause stress, anxiety, and the whole time we're going to be thinking this isn't going to turn out right. She's not going to be happy. Us as stylists, we want you to be happy. We want you to leave proud of what is on your head. And if you've already told me I can't achieve that, then we already know that this is not going to go good for you or for me. What could be the problem? Are you ready? So a lot of times when people tell me that nobody can do their hair right and they bring me a picture, it's not the stylist, it's you. No offense, but there is something you are not realizing or you are not seeing, and you are expecting higher results than what can be given to you, no matter who the stylist is. So you are either showing me a picture and you're focusing on the color. You're focusing on texture. You're focusing on the gal in the picture, not the hair. And you don't realize it. Or maybe you're... Now, the color. If you're focusing on the way that the color lays and your color does not match, it is not going to look the same. If you're focusing on the texture, odds are maybe you don't have that type of texture. Maybe you need to style it. A lot of people in my chair do not want to have to style their hair. They want to wake up and have the look that's in the picture. That is not going to happen about 95% of the time. Thickness. Thickness is a huge one. I had a lady bring me a picture of a styled up hairdo, and it called for a lot of hair. Unfortunately, she did not have a lot of hair. She had almost balding, and I had to work magic, and I had to use her bangs in order to create a little bit of height right here. When she looked in the mirror, she felt like I had disappointed her, and she was asking me, well, what if we bring the bangs down? And I said, well, then all your height will be gone. And she's wondering why she doesn't look like the girl in the picture, because she is not the girl in the picture. She does not have the thickness that the girl in the picture had. Another thing that could be going on is that you're not explaining yourself correctly. I get a lot of people that explain their haircut in motions. When I ask, so how are we cutting your hair today? They go, I like it when it goes like this, and then comes down like this, like that. Do you understand? But how are we cutting it? How much am I taking off? Well, I like it when it goes like this and it comes down like this. Okay, I need to ask a different question apparently. And like I had a client who said that she did absolutely not want dog ears, and everyone gave her dog ears. Everyone. Even I did, apparently. And apparently she was explaining and she was wanting something and saying something that led her to the dog ears every single time. And as I was doing her hair, she would tell me, I don't want this and I want that changed. Oh, okay, well then I will do that. And then that would lead to the dog ears. I don't know if you understand what dog ears, but it's when hair kind of falls in the form of dog ears. So you got to ask yourself, if nobody can do your hair right, maybe you're going about it wrong. Maybe you're saying the wrong thing. Maybe you don't have the hair to create this look that you're wanting. Number 6, this is another mental thing. I don't want to be scalped. By saying this, you're already saying that I have already failed you or I will already fail you. I have absolutely no intention to scalp you. I have no intention to make you unhappy. I have no intention to take you to a level where you will be upset, where you will be... I have no intention to do something like that. I don't understand why people think it's okay to say these things. Botched. That's another word that we hate to hear. You're already telling us that we will destroy your hair. You're already using words saying that things are not going to go correctly. Now, if you say things like, I don't want to go too short, and too short to me is, I can work with that. That's not a problem. Number 7 is being vague in general. Now, I've mentioned this several different ways. But when I sit someone down and I say, how are we doing your hair today? And you answer, a trim. And I go, okay, well, how much are we trimming? And you say, I don't know. The person I usually do just takes it off. Okay, well, is there a certain way you like to style it? Do you like to be able to run your fingers through it? How long has it been since your last haircut? And you answer, I don't know. Unfortunately, I cannot take you to the destination you need to be if you can't explain to me how to get there. I hope that makes sense. And when I do explain that to people, usually it's teenage boys, once I tell them that the end result is your house, and right now we are on the other side of town and I am driving you, if you are telling me that I need to drive to a rock and then turn on the road, I won't know which rock to look for and I won't know which road to look for. But if you tell me to turn at the hospital on Kings Road, I know exactly where I'm going and we'll get you exactly where you need to be. Number 8, another mental thing. You don't know what you're doing. A lot of this comes from impatience on your end. I get a lot of ladies where I'm trying to go through the consultation and I'm trying to understand what they're looking for. And they have reached a point where they don't have the patience for me. They're probably already having a bad day. And they don't want to have to describe or explain. They just want magic. And so they've already come to the conclusion that I don't know what I'm doing because I'm asking questions and because I am trying to move forward. And they don't have the patience for that. A lot of times it is also when things are unexplained correctly. And I am trying to convey to you, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what you mean. Could we reword it? I'm not understanding. And if I tell you I'm not understanding, that's me being honest. I don't want to go, oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and then just do it. I want you to know, I do not understand. So let's get me to the point where I can understand you. Do not get frustrated and say, you don't know what you're doing. Because that puts me in a place where maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I shouldn't be doing hair. And I can't tell you how often I have thought that in the past because of people saying things like this. Number 9. Now this is personal. So like I said, I work in Smart Style, which is inside a Walmart. We are not owned by Walmart. We are not affiliated with Walmart. We are renting the space, just like McDonald's is renting that space, just like Build-A-Bear is renting that space, just like Burger King is renting that space. Walmart does not come in and tell me how to do my job. We are renting the space, and that is it. And so the thing that gets thrown at me sometimes is I don't get my hair done at Walmart. So, okay, you don't get your hair done at Smart Style, which happens to be in Walmart, which does have a reputation of being a little more slummy. I get that, but you've already told me I am slummy. You've told me that I'm not good enough for you. You've told me that I am the bottom of the barrel. Just the way you said it and just the way that you worded it. Honestly, each stylist has their own thing. Each stylist is their own person. And to criticize somebody about where they work can really bring them down. And number 10, which I may have to explain a little bit more. Do not give up on a stylist who is genuine. And what I mean by that is, if I am working on your hair and things are not going according to your plan, things are not working out for you, know that I am doing my absolute best to give you what you want. If we've reached a point where you are a little bit frustrated, odds are I'm frustrated too, because I want you to be happy and I know you are not. So, to throw me out and say you're going to someone else or you're going somewhere else when I am doing my absolute best to help you, and I want to continue to help you, that's throwing out any hope of me doing a good job. If I'm doing a color on you and it's just not looking right or something's wrong and I have offered to fix it, I have told you I will do everything to fix it, just tell me what you need, and you tell me you want to go somewhere else or see someone else, that tells me I'm not worthy of learning. That tells me I'm not worthy of making a better name for myself in your eyes. That I am not worthy of rekindling myself. And usually clients will take very well to me until we hit this point. So they've already shown that I'm a good person and that we get along just fine. But until we hit that point, they suddenly think that I'm not worthy of them and I can't do my job. So if the stylist is genuine and the stylist is somebody that you respect, before you hit that point, it is everything to us to give us a second chance and to fix what needs to be fixed. Now, if I was flaky and all I want to do is talk about myself the whole time and we're just not rubbing right, I can understand that. Well, guys, that was 10. I hope that you've learned something. You kind of understand what it's like on our side. And I will see you again next time.